So, this one I'm going to do on border control or customs. In California, they got these things like little checkpoints, and down in the Southwest, which some of them look like truck weigh stations, and some of those are new and fortified and are for when they plan on locking down the country into separate sections and grids. You'll see like whole highways with these huge gates that can be closed that are pretty beefy gates that a semi probably would not be able to push through without some major damage, at least. But those are kind of scary, seeing those pop up in the last 20 years all over the country and in major cities, where they can cordon off or section off the country and make it so you can't go be safe, away from planned evils. But I'm trying to stop those before they go any further. That's why we got to stop the no-hide laws right now. Like the most important thing with any person alive. They need to be screaming, "Stop the no-hide laws right now!" Like, but anyway, Customs Border Patrol, which I was never doing nothing shady when I was doing hauling, so. Maybe a little bit overweight here and there, or not flying the flags right, to avoid taxation without representation and extortion as much as possible. But, Customs, Border Patrol, going through there with I've got two 48-foot race car trailers that I've had around the country, and or haul others for other people, but I just moved a guy to Vegas or something, and was hauling the tractor maybe from there to Washington or something, and they're like, what's in the trailer? You got any Hispanics in the back seat or in the trailer? And me and my buddies look at each other. We sure do work like some Mexicans, but no, there is no Hispanics in the trailer, and you're welcome to look if you like. We are not doing anything, and we have nothing illegal. So you're welcome to look in the trailer, but no, there's nobody in there. And but I said, you guys are worried about the wrong thing. Everybody's crying about the immigrants trying to come across the border to have a better life, but nobody is paying attention to the Chinese secret police coming across the border in mass amounts, or Russians or Ukrainians coming off the boat on the west coast. And the day before is the day I posted posts on the leader of Wagner, and I posted about how I was at this gas station when the road was closed right above that gas station, and 6 of the most beautiful, most dangerous little Russian girls, street killers, and it was like, it was definitely security for this guy. He's kind of an ugly looking guy, but once you see that face and you recognize it, and then he recognized me, and I was like, but I realized what he was thinking. He was thinking, there's no such thing as coincidence. Why do I recognize this guy right here, right now, when it seems like he just got off a boat and just rented these 2 vehicles? But I told the border and the customs, whatever, that I was like, hey, you guys are looking for the wrong things. Leave the Latinos alone and pay attention to the real threat to national security, which is they're being kind of welcomed in, and people don't even realize that we got like 120,000 Chinese secret police here, maybe like 100,000 Russian special forces type troops or Israeli troops here, which friends that are dual citizens went there to go get military training as part of their citizenship to. But anyway, and then UN troops, peacekeepers. They call themselves peacekeepers, but they have a contract for the Patriot Act to do martial law here. That's why they have pretty much a standing army here waiting for, their go orders to help marshal and corral all the people. And, the reason that they had foreigners for the contract was because American troops will not as easily exterminate U.S. citizens for no just cause. So they would stop and think. I would hope, even though I've heard some of them say orders are orders. Those orders are not orders. It's not acceptable orders unless you... There's a time when you got to question and reject those orders. When it comes to killing your countrymen just to clear an area, which they did many times in history, that's not cool. That's not acceptable. You're going to hell. But anyway, so you got to protect your homeland, protect what you love. And by doing that, I'm saying you got to research, stop the no-hide laws. And that will take out a big part of what would be very bad in the next few years. That would stop that and make it not so bad if you raise awareness right now. Do your research on it and share it with all you care about. And if you work for the government, go say, hey, boss, I can't come into work until you go to your boss and say, we need this law amended or redacted or stricken out of American policy, which most laws are just codes or statutes enforced and passed as law, but technically not laws. But nobody thinks about that. Nobody also thinks about transfer of power and the fact that Trump can pass full presidential power to FEMA state of emergency, which FEMA never would have given it back. Why would they do that? So, does anybody question the validity of the last two elections when there was no presidential powers in this time? Does anybody think about that? But I wouldn't have noticed if I wouldn't known that that's part of a bigger, not good plan. If I didn't know that was already part of the plan, I would have missed it completely, like you all did. But I'm telling you, dig into that, do some research, ask some questions. Make it make sense. No, it doesn't make sense. You got to stop it. But anyway, where's the Patriots at? Now, I'm not saying anybody ready to get up in arms. I'm saying stand your ground and have some integrity to say, Uncle Sam, Uncle over here, Sammy, buddy, what's up with this no-hide laws bull? Passed on an election bill like the day after Christmas, mind you, to eradicate Christians and Muslims. That's what the intent of the plan is for. There's 30,000 guillotines for that plan. But you guys got to learn and do your research on that. And I know it's real, but you need to stop it now. Prayers and blessings to all that feel me. Shane Michael, Rogue One. Yarr.